Hi everyone, welcome to video blog number 2. This is actually take 3 because I can't quite get the microphone to record sound on my phone. I don't know. I'm not good with technology. But today's question, given what we've read for our readings, what could or ought to happen in classrooms? What ought not to happen is that we shouldn't teach computers how to read books, because that's the kind of thing they warned us about in Terminator, and we have learned nothing. But no, in all seriousness, let's look at what ENGL says. She says that we should look at extracurricular writing groups to see what we can learn from them. She brings in the example of the farmers and the inner city African American older women. And so it's fruitful to look at how writing is constructed outside of academic circles. So we should be doing some of that. Sorry, to kind of look at the process of that, and to see what is it about these circles that kind of nurture people as writers. I think one of the things that she points out is it allows them to hone their craft, to be accepted and maybe have their work rejected, but in a safe environment that they might not have in an academic setting. So, maybe it's important for scholars to recognize that education can blur the lines between home life and professional life. One thing that Gear said that really I thought was interesting was on page 88. She talks about how we should appreciate amateurs, and then she goes into the etymology of the word amateur as someone who feels love, amor, for something they do. So I think that was a real interesting diversion. So how would we do this in a classroom? In a practical way. I think a teacher can make it a component of the class that students have to observe, or maybe be part of an off-campus writing group to kind of look at what they do, observe their process. I'm going to be covering process theory later on in the quarter, so this is a nice little introduction to that, I guess. Yeah, and another thing, as Gear says later on, is to just see the students as writers, not people to write about, to kind of bridge the gap, or the wall between the academic community and the rest of the community, which we are undoubtedly part of. So okay, that's Gear. Hales or Hale, um, is more technology oriented. Talks about how we should incorporate hyper reading, or digital reading, into classrooms in conjunction with close reading. She, he, whoever. Hale points out that this is not, hyper reading is not going away. It even changes neurological pathways. Maybe the research on that is a little shaky. She says. He says. Hale says. So what can we do? I mean, we need to make close reading sexy again, or maybe not so much. Maybe try to incorporate technology in along with close readings to try to make students, as Hales points out, bitextual or multitextual, to kind of bring in digital tools into classrooms. I like the example that was given with Romeo and Juliet, how they converted that to a Facebook format, which allowed people to grasp the themes in a more relatable way. But at the same time, they're still doing close reading. What else can we do? Can we? I don't know if we can do this at Cal State. I know a lot of schools have the labs for it, but maybe bring in distance reading as a tool. I personally don't really care for distance reading, but I'm sure it's got its uses. One can only read so many books, so maybe helping to spot patterns will be really useful in conjunction with close reading. I don't know, just a thought. Curious what everyone else thinks. What are some more ways that we can bring tech into the classroom in a fruitful way? Seems like a lot of the tech, for example, the Romeo and Juliet thing, plays with format, plays with form. How can we play with content? Just a thought. Okay, well, thank you for your time. Have a wonderful night. I'll see everybody tomorrow.